What's up, guys? Good to be here. I am in the apartment still of Rachel Lindbergh. I probably shouldn't have said her full name. Hopefully, she doesn't mind. Um, I mailed her glasses today. That's one of the things that she needed and that I was happy to do to be able to stay at her place. So I did that. Then she told me about this ring light, this gigantic ring light. And now I have a huge ass ring light in this bitch. So that's cool. Um, I will be at another house tomorrow. I'll be at um, Curtis's house from the Comedy Store. He is gonna help Joe Rogan with his new club. So I don't know if I'm supposed to tell people that, but I mean he's pretty out and about, so I'm pretty sure he's public. Um, but yeah, I mean, I'll be in another house. I went from having no house in a van to now having two houses that I have access to. So north of Austin and south of Austin, I will be uh, homed and in a domicile for that, for this upcoming Christmas. A very nice Christmas present from the beautiful residents of Austin. Um, so it's cool. I have a house, I have a bed. Now all I need is a lady who's willing to put up with me. Maybe I can make it like a fun time. Hey, what's up? Boogala boogala. Just create a hilarious time for a lady, which is important to do. Um, I love having a home. It's pretty fun. I love being in Austin. I think this is a very great city. I think Austin is going to be great, and it's already great. I don't like the infrastructure. I don't like how it's set up to be so spread out and how you need a highway to get everywhere, and it's just gigantic highways connecting to each other. Is just the wrong scale. It's like everything's too big. We need everything on a more human level, and everything will be more efficient because then everything will be close to each other, and then you won't have to drive to go get a pack of smokes. You could just get one down at the corner store. Um, but that's why I love the downtown area in Austin, because it's all compact. It's the one place where everyone is at, and we've decided to put all this shit at. Like if you're at 3 a.m. in the morning, in the night, staying up all night at 3 a.m., and you're looking for food, good luck if you're out in Pflugerville or in the suburbs. But if you're downtown, near that downtown area, then you can find food stuff, you can find people partying, you can find people getting drunk. So it's just better to have everything compact and everything close together because it makes everything more efficient. You get synergistic effects. Having Voodoo Donuts next to the Vulcan Gas Company makes everyone want to go to the Vulcan Gas Company more and Voodoo Donuts more. It's just if you pack everything close together, it's really cool. Um, why didn't I get casted on 20 somethings on Netflix? Probably because I don't look like a goddamn fashion model. I'm more like just a normal looking person. And I think that show is mostly superficial bullshit. Just people pretending to learn how to pretending to know how to talk and not saying anything, just having good vibes, just using conversation to artificially inflate themselves and make themselves feel better. Um, I think that my kissing bit on Kill Tony was fun. I think it's great that I was able to take part in that. I have this idea that sex should be something that we do a lot more of. Um, and I think that it's sad when we don't do a lot of sex. I think it's sad when there's not enough open mics. So I'm glad that I could do my part and be like, hey, look, if I could get a lot of kisses, then it's just like a matter of perception, and we just need to start kissing each other more and finding each other more attractive. and doing a better job of making the world that we live in a better place instead of just being grumpy and disgusted by everything. Maybe just try to not be so paranoid and smooch more people. Things are better when everyone's smooching. Have you begun kettlebelling? I love kettlebelling. I am a follower of Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan talked about kettlebelling a lot. I love the kettlebell swings. I've been doing this thing at the gym, which I stopped going to for a bit, where I look at the videos of like how to do a bench press, how to do a squat. Just looking at it before I go up, not even with the sound on, just to see like someone doing it right. Monkey see, monkey do. Am I right? So then it's just like puts me in the right mindset to just go do that exercise. And a lot of exercising for me is trying not to get injured. My back, my knees, my anus. I don't want to prolapse my anus by lifting too much. So it's just a good thing to do to look at people. It's so handy that we have these smartphones now and we can just pull up whatever we want. And if you're going to just be staring at nothing anyways, you might as well be staring at people doing exercise at a high level and with the proper form. So that's pretty good. So I love exercising. I need to exercise more. If anyone knows how to get a free gym membership in Austin, I'd love to do that. I know Mr. Rogi is opening up a gym, so I hope I have access to that. I hope he doesn't mind if I park my van in front of it and start doing laundry in his parking lot. No, I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that. But I would love to work out at his gym because it's going to be fucking lit. He's going to have everything there, and hopefully it's free. But hopefully I can shower there too and use a sauna and isolation tank. And it's just, I'm just like hoping that I can use his shit. But I can also get a membership. I have $16,000 in the bank account. I can buy a gym membership, and if I'm really dedicated to exercise, then I'll probably do that because that's probably a good thing to do. Hey Hans, what time do you usually stream? I don't really have a set time. I usually stream like in the afternoon at like 4 or 5 because I like to wake up and write. Today I didn't get to do that. I was busy playing StarCraft and emailing a bunch of clubs to see if I could go do a goddamn co-headlining show with William Montgomery. If anyone knows of any venues in your city that you would love to see William Montgomery and I at, and maybe even David Lucas, then let me know because I want to book a bunch of shit for February. January is already booked out. I usually stream whenever I can, or I stream late at night after I come back from mics, so it really depends. Have you come across that comedian from 20-somethings? Yes, I know Michael Fractor. I don't know if his name is public, but that's his name. He's a very nice guy. He's a very kind-hearted gentleman. He's got a very small head, which is something that in Korean society we really respect. Share your personal financial information with us. I bank with a big bank, and I have a checking account, but not a savings. I should probably get a savings account, get like that 1% or whatever interest. This is not my van. This is an apartment that Rachel has let me stay in, and I'm very appreciative of that. I don't know when Kill Tony's going back on the road. It really depends on what your city is like and if they, do whatever. Comedy Off-Broadway in Lexington, Kentucky. Levity Live in Oxnard. I would love to go to these places. I think that it would be cool if you guys could have them reach out to me because I'm so tired of emailing people. I'll do it tomorrow. It's like you can only take so much of the copy paste. Looking for their email on the website. They never put their email on the website. It's so annoying. Why waste time on here? Live life to write jokes about. What do you think other people are doing right now? They're not doing anything. They're like fucking putzing about. They're farting around, talking to idiots. I'm practicing talking. I'm practicing going live, having an audience, and all that. So this is like an active thing. Like this is like a cool thing to do. Like this, if I was to watch something, uh, I'd probably watch someone talk and say whatever the fuck they want to say. I think that's interesting. That's an intellectual exercise, and that's really creative and interesting to watch people do whatever they say. But yeah, I love doing this. This is something that I'd rather do over, going out to a bar and drinking with a bunch of drunk fat buttholes. I was gonna say the F word, but I forgot that this is not going out just to Texas. It's going out to everyone. Are you practicing performing in front of the worst backgrounds? You hate this background. It actually makes noise, so that's cool. It's kind of an annoying texture. It looks like grandma type thing, but it adds texture. It adds like whatever. It adds differentness. I live in a Sprinter van. Um, what a douche thing to say. Did I say building an audience? I said talking to an audience. Yeah, I mean, I like doing this. I think this is way better than a lot of things that most people my age do. And I don't like hanging out with a lot of people. I think it's better to have a few deep relationships than like a lot of shallow relationships. I think we're not meant for shallow relationships. I think deep relationships are the way to go. F word is bad word. Oh, thanks for defending me, rides, Santa Cruz bikes. I'm sorry that I'm so defensive. I should be less offended by things. Are you doing any of the mics tonight? I'm doing my own mic, Kimchi Mic, and then I'm doing the secret show tonight. So check it out. I'm on the secret show. It's one of the best shows in Austin, Texas. It's one of the best shows ever. It's just the energy is high, the expectations are high, the audience is great. Red Band runs it. So that's cool. Do you have a deep relationship with David Lucas? I hung out in the green room with him yesterday at Joe Rogan's show. He was very nice and kind, and he killed it on the show. And he was just eating sushi, listening to Rogan. He had an early flight tonight. He's going to Atlanta. So if you're in Atlanta, that's where David Lucas will be. What did you have to do to Red Band to get the invite? I had to suckle his balls and also just be a regular on Kill Tony, even though he didn't book me last week. Usually he books me, and it's like whatever. I don't have to get booked every time. Where do we find Secret Show online? Brian Redband or Vulcan or Big Laugh. Why is the Secret Show not live streamed? Because it's people's stand-up acts, and people don't like having their stand-up act online. Even though I put everything up online, a lot of people don't do that, which is fine. I would do a roast battle with David Lucas. I would not be expecting to win, but I think it'd be a fun exercise and a fun thing to do. And plus, like, everyone expects him to be funny, so there's like an expectation that they're gonna have a good time. So then if I write a good joke, then I can sort of ride on his wave. So, it's just a joke writing exercise. So I really like that. What's your favorite order in Jack in the Box? At Jack in the Box, the sourdough, whatever. I don't really go to Jack in the Box. Jack in the Box. Let's play some Civ 5. I love the idea of Civ 5. I'll try to torrent it, although I'm not allowed to torrent on this internet connection. Yeah, I mean, it's weird. Torrenting is so awesome, and I don't know why we aren't allowed to do that. I remember the internet before it was taken over by corporations, and that was a better time. And now the internet is sanitized and boring, and the rough edges are smoothed out, just like everything else. Are you in your van? Nope. Stop writing David's poll. I mean, if I could get more stage time, I'd definitely ride David's pole. I would love to do sketch comedy. I don't know if my brain works that way, but I would love to learn how to use my brain like that. I love StarCraft 2. I lost earlier today in the one game I played. I'm 0 for 1, and it was a very long game, and it's very drawn out. I was like a tiger that couldn't finish off his prey. I should have built more cannons to prevent the side drops from happening, but it was my first game in a while. And the guy offensive GG'd me. He GG'd me when he was winning, and that's very uncalled for and really rude. And so I was like, this is my first game in a long time, and you still barely beat me, you fucking loser hack. So I left in a huff, but it was fun. It was fun to engage in intellectual combat with a fellow nerd online and just learn about what he's into and how he attacks and what he does. So it's fun. I could have done a lot better, but whatever. I see you've lost weight from that sauna hangs. Oh, you think I lost weight? Well, I've been working out. I've noticed a couple gains on my arms. GG is good game. Yes, boomer. Just kidding. You're probably a young man. Yeah, I need a Tor or what is that? What a Tor is? VPN, and then I could fucking torrent games like Civ 5. Where can I do some stand up as a first timer? At an open mic. All you have to do is sign up. When you first go, I never realized this because I've been doing it in the same scene for a while, but when you first go, everyone's like, who's this? Is this an audience member? Is this someone's friend? Oh, it's a first timer. Oh, hey, what's up? And everyone's sort of looking at you and judging you, but that's just part of the game, and then you have to do comedy in front of people who know that you're a first timer, so it's kind of hard. But if you could find like a real audience, I'd say go to a couple open mics and find an audience that you think you could do well in front of, or an audience that you picture to be what your idea of comedy is, and then write jokes for that audience. And then go on stage and fucking do that shit. Toilet paper roll. Yeah, I got a toilet paper roll. It's the handiest thing ever. How's dimethyltryptamine? It's a spirit molecule. 6 squared is 36. Who you want to win for Jake Paul versus Wilder? I think Wilder's gonna win. Is Jake Paul just gonna fight everyone in a sport that they don't do? He's like gonna challenge Wilder, Deontay Wilder to an MMA fight. He's gonna challenge fucking Serena Williams to a game of foosball. It's like, why don't you just do a sport and get good at it, and then challenge someone who actually does that sport instead of challenging people who don't do that sport? What is your OnlyFans profile like? It's a lot of kissing girls that I met on Tinder who will let me film them having sex. So, yeah. My girlfriend broke up with me because the neighbors went on vacation and I was rolling around in their garden pretending to be a carrot. I mean, if your girlfriend can't indulge in flights of whimsy and having fun, then I don't think that she's a good person. She's like, you gotta be serious all the time. If you're kind of weird, then I don't want to be with you. I think that's kind of boring. But also, you don't want to be in a relationship with someone who's just like crazy and just like flopping around on the ground, and you're like, ooh, what is going on here? I could torrent through my cell phone. It's just a lot of data that I don't want to use. I only get 100 gigs before they start throttling it. Any memorization tips for on stage? I would say use a memory palace, or do the 1 button, 2 shoot, 3 tree, 4 store, 5 hive, 5 wives, 6 dicks, 7 heaven, 8 gate, 9 rhine, 10 hen. So a 10 hen is like a hen, and then if you have a joke about a dog, just have a dog chasing a hen, and then that's 10 hen. 9 rhine, that's a marine, a rhine. That's from StarCraft. So I would imagine a marine shitting in a bucket. So if I have a joke about shitting in a bucket, then I can do that. And then a memory palace is just like a place that you are used to, and you go around looking at shit on there. Uh, you're the man, triple that. Woodley too. Oh, he's fighting Woodley. Someone said Wilder. It's not my fault. I mean, I'm sure that Jake Paul has a good whatever. He won the first time. I just wish that they would fight MMA. Why is Woodley boxing? Like it's like being like, oh, I'm a great boxer, but what if I challenge someone to an arm wrestling competition? It's like, just box. Who cares about arm wrestling? It's like some specific form of fighting that's not really fighting. Um, um, it's not as easy to come up with a new minute on Kill Tony. I have to do a little digging, but I think that I can do it, and I'm excited about next week. I have some ideas, so it's just cool to do it, and I just hope I don't burn jokes and fuck it up before I have a chance to perfect them. So Gina Hyena, she comes by every now and then. She doesn't come too often, so I don't really hang out with her. UFO disclosure. UFOs are a fanciful idea that I wish was true, but it seems like most of the evidence is not that good, and I would rather spend time thinking about the Mongols who actually existed. I'm not high at all. Thanks for asking. I'm never high for this. I wish I was high. Miss Amy said I broke her heart. I don't know what the fuck I did. Hans Pennyloaf says WTF. What's up, Hans Pennyloaf? I don't know how I broke Miss Amy's O's heart, but oh, she was supposed to give me some shirt after the show or something, and then we never met up. But I mean, it's like she's was a little annoying at the Kill Tony. Last time she goes around and greets all the tables, which is it like makes the audience feel weird. So I would say to Miss Amy, oh, maybe don't make such a big scene and just sort of like try to like don't just talk to people for as long as you can. Just sort of talk to them and try to have good interactions, good short interactions, and then let them go on their way. What's your favorite meal? Probably ribs. Barbecue. When you smoke weed, can you see anymore? Yeah, I just have to look like that. And that way I don't have to open my eyes too much. What do you think of Elon Musk being named Times Person of the Year? I think Elon Musk is nice, but instead of Elon Musk, there are 10,000 millennials who are working fast food jobs or cubicle jobs that could have invented awesome shit, that we instead make them work and waste their life in pointless occupations. And I think that that is wasted potential. And I would like to see everyone's potential unleashed. And I would want to see them do something more with their lives than flipping burgers and being a lackey to a rich corporate businessman, and just wasting their time on Reddit instead of actually doing something with their life. I don't think we incentivize people to actually do something with their life. I think we incentivize them to gain material wealth and hedonistic pleasures, go to concerts, have a Ferrari. So we don't have the most inventive people or people who are good at contributing to the system that we live in. So I think that Elon Musk is nice. He's a symptom of a problem that we don't take care of our people, and instead we reward people who are good at accruing capital and resources. And Elon Musk is good at that, and he's good at making cool shit, but I think that we're missing out on a lot more cool shit, and that Elon Musk is only a small tip of the iceberg for the genius that humans have. And I think that it's sad that we're not using people to the best of their ability. Instead, we just have Elon Musk, who's good at like tricking other rich people into thinking he's smart, and he's good at design. I I don't think that that's the best thing though. Like that's the kind of stuff that we reward is like Apple, Steve Jobs, fancy design and cool shit like that. And I think that we can have like a lot better of a society and more inventors if we actually let people do whatever the fuck they want. Um, but instead we make them waste their life doing whatever. Instead of one Elon Musk, we should have 10,000 inventors. Um, I'm sure Elon Musk is great at burgers. One of my favorite comedy specials is Bill Burr. I think Bill Burr is awesome. Personal drive plays a part. I would like to see personal drive taken out of the equation. And if you just have a cool invention, you don't have to like hustle and bustle and prove that you're awesome. But you can just like be like, hey, what about this idea? And then we'll be like, oh my God, look at this awesome idea. That's awesome. My Elon Musk or my SAT score was 2150. We don't need janitors. Hopefully we can get robots to do that, but we need a lot fewer janitors now than we did in the past. So we're just going closer and closer to a janitorless society. But we still do need janitors at this point, and I respect the trade and craft of janitorship. I think it's a beautiful thing if you do it right. Who's my favorite commie? My favorite commie is probably Richard Wolff or Hasanabi. The world needs a ditch diggers too. Yeah, but not as many as we did in the past. We're getting less ditch diggers now, and it's very, very awesome. Is this your van? No. Um, Elon Musk did a lot of cool shit. I don't know if Elon Musk is the best at building software. I think there's a guy that's really good at building software that is undiscovered because he doesn't want to exploit other people and pay them as little as possible and create terrible work conditions. But I think Elon Musk is doing the best he can in the system that he has, and this is the kind of people that we reward and do the best in our system are people who can create a good image of what they do. So I think that's cool that he was able to do that. How would we let people do whatever they want? I would suggest giving them food and shelter as a prerequisite and not making people work to survive, because I think it's unnecessary. And when I'm forced to work to survive, when I know that you can keep me alive for a lot less than what I'm contributing, then it makes me resentful of the system. And I don't want to work for people who are cheating me. And that's what I feel like is like a reason why people don't appreciate employment or work, because we can sense that we're getting fucked. I'm not stoned. Do I think? No. I think Elon Musk is adequately smart. I think there's a lot of burger flippers that are smart and that are not being used to the best of their ability. Yes, you can ship me some art. Z Studios 815. Please send it to the Vulcan gas company. Jared Nathan is so nice. He's very sweet. I think that he's a very nice guy, and he's retarded, but he's also like, he's with it. Like, he's not debilitatingly retarded, and he's socially aware, and he's like really cool. Toilets will always be clogged, and eating bugs will only make the problem worse. You have an apartment now, Hans? Yeah, it's my friend's apartment that she's letting me squat in until the lease ends up. Could I beat up Elon Musk? I think he's a big old man. I think he's a little older than me though, so I would have an advantage in terms of age. And I don't know. I don't know if I could beat up Elon Musk. That's a tough question. Can you give me food and shelter? Yeah, I can try. Depends on how cool you are and if I want to hang out with you. But if you're not that, if we can't get along, then I would like send you money from afar to go on stage and perform your first set. Probably like 6 months. I thought about it when I was working this startup job. Oh, so the question is, how long did it take you to go on stage and perform your first set, 6 months ish. I was thinking about. I was listening to Joe Rogan's podcast. I was 23 or something, so this was 8 years ago, 9 years ago, 22 or something. Um, and I think that it's funny because I was gonna do it, and then I got fired, and then I went back to home to Seattle, and that's when I started. I had to get fired to start comedy because if I was actually doing a job, then I couldn't dedicate the time I wanted. And the way I started comedy, it was pretty cool because I just started doing it and then I never stopped. I haven't really taken a significant break since I started 8, 9 years ago, and I've been doing comedy nonstop in a very, very rapid, multiple sets a night type of way. And in Seattle, I was doing like 4 or 5 mics a night, and some of those were music open mics. There's a lot of music open mics in Seattle that give me 15 minutes. So right when I started, I was doing 15 minutes in front of audiences, boring their asses off, and doing really offensive, terrible jokes in front of them and getting better. So the people of Seattle have paid for the price of me improving. So I did that, and I just haven't stopped. Like, a lot of people take breaks. I haven't taken a break. I've just continuously kept doing comedy. So I have that advantage. I have that momentum going, and it's pretty cool. Where does this food and shelter that you want to give away come from? Probably the amazing farm equipment that we have that can replace 10,000 workers with a tractor. We can pay for the food. I think that we do more than enough work to get food and shelter. Someone who works maybe 6 hours a week can pay for their food and shelter because we live in an efficient society. I mean, it takes 20 hours of work a week to survive as a hunter-gatherer. So it shouldn't take more work than that when we live in a modern society with specialization and efficiency. We should be able to just do the bare minimum for food and shelter, and then we can do whatever we want with our free time. And it turns out most people don't need to be distracted by work to not become a terrorist. They actually want to contribute to the world. We want the world to be a better place, and I think that's a good way to go. I think you need to trust people, because at the end of the day, that's all we have is people. So if you don't trust people, well, you're going to end up with people doing what they want anyways. You might as well do it in a non-coercive way instead of just torturing them every day until you eventually relent, and then they have a lot of resentment build up. You don't have to work for the man. That is your choice. I mean, it'd be nice if we could just do whatever we wanted, or have been adequately paid. I mean, I guess everyone's definition of adequately paid is different. $11 at Santa's shop, and now I make 40 as an instrumentation technician. Well, maybe we could have healthcare, and maybe we could have the same labor rights that they do in every other modern country. Will Mexico invade Texas? They already tried that. It didn't work. Santa Ana, we kicked his ass. America! Owen Benjamin is his favorite comedian. I heard he went a little crazy. I think he took a edible from Joey Diaz, and he he got too high. Did Jared's mom let him stay? Jared's mom did let him stay. I can't reveal too much, but tune into next week's Kill Tony if you love Jared Nathan. You have to work for stuff. He's on HGH and TRT though. Yeah, I'm really, really buff to edit it. Capitalism blows, said from an iPhone on YouTube. I mean, if only the internet wasn't corporatized and monopolized. I think YouTube is alright, but I would rather see a lot of smaller companies. And iPhones were created with a lot of government inventions and patents, like the internet and smartphone screens are made by governments. How many chambers does it take to change a water pipe? Hans, are you on TRT? Obviously, if you couldn't tell by my massive chin. I'm 32, so I'm not 25. Do you stem cell on drip? I wish. I'm not gonna ask Joe Rogan for anything like that now. Innocent auditor bragging about how many subscribers he has. I mean, have fun with the number of subscribers you have. Just going around yelling at strangers. I'm just getting people to stare at my face and telling jokes. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad that you're out there doing your thing. How the world is not the same as it was in the 50s. Yes, I hear you on Tony. Thanks for being grateful that I got fired. Karen, if you don't want to work, it's the only system that incentivizes merit. Actually, capitalism is a system where it helps people who own capital, who usually inherited it, and then don't do any work. So capitalism doesn't incentivize merit, it incentivizes owning a lot of stuff already, which is what slave owners had. Do you think being an Asian has helped you in comedy? Yeah, I mean, it's helped me because I've used it a lot to get ahead. I think that everyone has something that they use, and I use my Asianness. You can use your midgetness or your whiteness, whatever it takes. Everyone has something. So it's like if people make fun of me for being Asian, it's like whatever. Like we're all doing something. Am I for vaccine mandates in Sweden or Korea? Yes. In America, you guys are too fucking crazy for that. You guys will fucking shoot people and stuff. But I think if you're managing a herd of cattle and there's a pandemic and there's a medicine for it, I would say give the cattle the medicine. We are the only sentient species in the universe that we know of, and we can't just let a disease take us out. We need to do the best we can to fight diseases so that we don't die. But if you want to take the risk so you can keep going shopping, by all means, go ahead. I mean, that's your choice. Just don't get mad when everyone bans you Americans from coming into their country. And you deserve sustenance just for existing. I mean, I just think that if you don't give me sustenance just for existing and you have a bunch of it and you're making me work more than I should for it, then I'm going to get a little resentful. And there's going to be some shit that blows up. But yeah, I mean, I'm willing to work. I just don't want to be exploited. So it's just a difference in opinion. Oh my God. I'm going to try to read all these. I don't have super chats allowed. I was wondering why I wasn't getting any super chats. Anyone can already do that. It takes me 5 hours to hunt, but then you feed your family and your family didn't work. So then it averages out, and then plus your neighbors can hunt for you, and maybe your wife can get some berries. The genius idea for living in a van came from not wanting to work and wanting to make a lot of money by not spending it and just being economically frugal. I think that if you buy a house on the free market, they try to cheat you and try to fuck you. So I wanted to make all my money work for me instead of like giving it away to other people. I don't know how to do super chats. I'm gonna turn it on. We're all done via capitalism. It's not a coincidence. Okay. Karl Marx or Trotsky? I don't know Trotsky. I guess Karl Marx. It's not a coincidence that planes, trains, automobiles, harnessing of electricity was all done via capitalism. Well, I think it was just the system that was around while we were at that stage in technological advancement. I mean, would you blame feudalism for the great Renaissance painters or for the invention of calculus, or was that just the system that happened to be in place while great people were alive? I think that with technology, it's an exponential curve, so capitalism is just an improvement on feudalism, but it's still not all the way there to complete freedom for people. It's just like replacing monarchs with capitalists and rich people. But I mean, it is great that capitalism does incentivize people to make a lot of money by inventing shit, but it also incentivizes companies that already have a monopoly to stifle innovation and make sure that no no competitors can take them over by buying them out, and making sure that no one creates a better product than them, like Andrew Carnegie or William Hearst, with the decorticator and the hemp. Like he found that he had a lot of cotton, and then Hearst found out that hemp was going to be awesome, so he was like, marijuana is terrible, we should make marijuana and hemp illegal. So there's a lot of stuff like that happens in capitalism, where you try to maximize profit, not innovation. So that's unfortunate. Ariel, to roast you, what's going on here? Andrew Yang philosophy. I mean, maybe I'm Asian and stuff. Should pregnant women microdose fentanyl to give their children natural immunity? If you want your child to be like a party rock star, then I would say get them started early. Do some Molly in there. Throw in some whatever. What is the food that is provided? Do you really want to live in a world where what you eat is determined by some third party? Here's your bag of rice and potatoes. Don't feel like eating that today? Well, hopefully we have options. Like if you go to a school cafeteria, or if you're in the army, they give you whatever, and hopefully it's delicious. What is the food that is provided? I don't think that just because food is provided doesn't mean that we still don't have a choice. I mean, we could just have like the system that we have with food stamps, where you go to the grocery store and you pick what you want. Yes, the 1% tricked me into enjoying mountain biking. I'm glad that you enjoy mountain biking. I hope you get to do that more instead of working most of your waking life for someone who doesn't care about you. Hans looks like White Rose from Mr. Robot. You think you're entitled to other people's things. I'm entitled to whatever I work for and the efficiency of the society around me. I think we should work as a group. Hans will be a millionaire in 2 years, but will he give his money away though? I will give away as much money as the people need and as much money as I can spare. If I am not happy, or if the people around me are not happy, then I'm not happy, and I want to make the world a better place. But honestly, a millionaire, $1 million, communism is not about giving money from middle class people to poor people. It's about getting money from workers, from rich people who all they do is own stuff, to people who actually work for a living, and also making workers get paid fairly for what they contribute instead of paying them the lowest amount possible. We'll show you, Tony, a hell of a good time in Michigan. Yeah, we in Michigan now. Go Wolverines. I don't know much about Michigan. I'm gay. Comedy, praise Allah. That seems less crazy than living in a van in the city, though. I'm sure he's great. I'm just talking shit. For us to have bare minimum in life, so people vaulting, valuing paper and stone more than other people's lives, you should get more stage time than other comedians and live out your socialism. Socialism isn't about comedians getting the same amount of stage time. It's about people not dying. But yeah, you don't just share everything. You don't have to share everything in communism. You just have to make sure that people have enough and get paid fairly for what they do. Will you be having a guest live? Yes, I'd love to, but most people don't want to come over. I gotta book it. If I book it, people will come. But that's just like, then I have to plan it out and change my schedule. What's your biggest income stream right now? Probably Joe Rogan is my biggest income stream. I'm not 25 either. Didn't think you were. I thought you were a very mature, older gentleman. Mitch Iru, what are your thoughts on the Great Reset? Is that the thing with the whatever, like the pandemic? Yeah, I mean, the Great Reset is great. I think we should reset it because things are fucked up and shit is bad, and we should reset. But I don't know what the Great Reset refers to. I'm not familiar with that concept. Chem engineering degree was worth it. How did the college years go for you? I got a mechanical engineering degree. My college years were spent playing StarCraft 2 and basketball. I was pursuing passions because I was not that enthralled with scholastics and academics. I think school is good, but I think that it's very factory-like. They just churn it out, and hopefully you learn. And it's not very personalized, and it's not very relevant to what people actually do with their jobs. I think school is good. It taught me a lot about physics and fluid mechanics and all that, fluid dynamics. But I think that we just shove everyone into schools, and then it's like a badge of honor more than you're actually trying to learn. So I got the badge of honor. I haven't really used it. I think it's mostly useless, and I don't like the way that our system works in terms of education. Open your eyes. Hans, when are you coming back to the Sentinelese Islands? Joe Rogan talks about that. You guys should watch him. Watch his stand-up. Amazing, one of the best. And I love that I get to watch him twice a week, every week. We should give women and meat to people who work. I mean, I don't know if you have to give women. I think that if you're an attractive man who can make enough money and is a functional, viable part of the economy, women will naturally be attracted to you more than if you're just a DoorDash delivery driver. If we just give people meaning and purpose and a beautiful life, then they'll become more attractive, and then they'll fuck more. These questions, I'm reading them from like back in the day. I'm scrolling up. I just want to make sure I get everyone. Capital equals property. If you're against capital, you're against private property, so give up your stuff now. I mean, people in Soviet Russia had a lot of stuff. Stalin had a lot of stuff. Capital is things that you use to gain more money, like factories. And I think that just owning a factory is not enough to get as much money as billionaires do, especially when your workers are getting paid minimum wage. Most millionaires in America did not inherit. I mean, Bill Gates came from a rich family. Elon Musk came from a rich family. What is better than capitalism? Just letting people slowly control more and more of the economy that they live in. Yes, you can come live with me for a week. Oh my God. I can't do this. I'm just gonna start reading from the bottom. You mean those stockbrokers whose sole job is to virtually pull the levers of the stock market, maximize the gain off artificial currency? Seems like a crime. 100% legal. Yeah, I mean, I don't think stock trading is that ethical. I think that it's just like moving money around, and sometimes you fuck over companies so that you make more money. You're rich compared to 99% of the population. Give all your money away. Communism isn't about poor people giving money to other poor people. It's about workers getting paid fairly from the people who own capital. What do you think? Do you think Austin is the next big comedy scene? Yes, this is like 1,000% yes, because Joe Rogan is such a powerful figure, and this is how human capital works, is that it's all tied up in one singular individual at times. Like Mitzi Shore was a very powerful individual who created a beautiful thing, and that people respected and trusted her and knew that she would make good decisions, and so they kept coming to her. So I think it's great that Joe Rogan is here because he's making awesome things here. Is Earth a spinning ball of space or flat or stationary plane? I think there's no privileged frame of reference, so it might be spinning to us, but to other people it's not spinning, and it's like it's all relative. Theory of relativity, so there's no privileged frame of reference. The sun is not the center of the universe. Our Milky Way is not the center of the galaxy. It's just everything is relative. I have a 2014 Freightliner. Say that to all the rest starved under socialism. What about all the Indians who starved under capitalist Britain's rule, or all the Irish people who starved in a man-made famine in Ireland, the potato famine, because the English, I guess, hated whatever. The state owns private property under communism. I mean, you can do whatever you want. If you want to vote and like not have that, then you should be able to decide what you want. But I don't think that we are able to decide what we want right now. I don't think we have democracy. I think we have a oligarchy where rich people rule the government. My van has like 240,000. I think I can get to 300 or 400, maybe even a million. You need to be careful and stop sleepwalking and pretend like people are naturally decent. You're going to get screwed over. I mean, it's like if you don't assume people are naturally good, then what hope do we have as a species? We have to assume that we're good because the species is all we have. So if you don't have any hope in our species, then like all this is for nothing. If we just constantly have to be suspicious of each other and try to fuck each other over, we shouldn't be able to survive as a species. So the only way forward is to be kind and create a better thing. Where do you have the freedom to control our economic lives? Why not start a business and pay people as much as you see fit? Let them do what they please and vote on company policies. Because we live in a marketplace that is ruled by monopolies. We do not have economic freedom. Our money is all controlled by top 1%. Millennials have 5% of the GDP. With that amount of capital, we can't do anything with it. And we can't take the risks that we should be able to take and to create the world as we know it, as we want it. And I think that because we don't have any power in our economy, we're not as sexy to ladies and we don't have as much sex. I'm not high at all right now. I mean, in the US, we don't really have economic freedom. All our money is with the 1%, so they have all the economic freedom. I mean, go to Baltimore or St. Louis, tell them they have economic freedom. Go to the ghettos, Compton and the Bronx. It's not a very great place. Freedom Factory race. The Irish famine was genocide. Yes, caused by the British. Everything is relative is not relative. Guess that statement is universal. I don't know. Ask Einstein. NASA's figures cannot be actually measured and they expect us to accept what they say, but would you be comfortable not having the rights over your van? I think that just because workers are getting paid fairly doesn't mean that I don't own a van anymore. I think if workers get paid fairly, there's more vans that more people own. I think a lot of this is like just what Americans think giving workers rights will lead to. So then we never give workers rights because we're like, we can't do that. That's what the other people do, and they suck. The U.S. has pulled more people out of poverty than any other system, and it's not even close. Actually, I don't think that's true. If you look at China or Russia, they pulled a lot of people out of poverty through school, but wants to be paid more. I don't want to be paid more. I get paid enough. I want you guys to be paid more. I think that if you work, that you need a lot of money, and you should be getting it. It takes a lot to keep a human alive, and we shouldn't just be squandering human capital by paying them as little as possible. And I also think that if you have a zoo where a tiger is being kept better than a human, that something is wrong and that we should be treating people better to get the best out of them. Don't you need to share your van with the homeless, comrades? Communism is not about poor people giving away all their stuff to other poor people. It's about people who own capital paying their workers fairly. I wish this was a green screen. This is actually just a white screen. I would love to share my living space, especially with a sexy lady. So anyone want to start a commune with me, please come over. You must have a beautiful vagina or a clean cock that maybe I could experiment with. Just kidding, I'm not gay. Thoughts on Bill Hicks? Oh, I love Bill Hicks. One of my favorites. He was funny and he was poignant, and I also agreed with him a lot. So that's cool. We're rich people, but the solution is not to give the government more power and influence over our lives. Well, maybe the solution is to make the government actually run by the people, because the government is the only threat to corporations. That's the only way we can stand up to them, is with the power of the government. So I don't think that the government is inherently evil. I think it's just used inefficiently now. If you're in Tony's shoes and you're able to pick the next regular from Austin, who would it be and why? I don't know. Casey Rocket, I think is funny. Um, there's a lot of funny people here. I'd have to look through a list. I'd rather. Maybe I should talk about the scene more. The scene's great here. Um, there's so many funny people. I mean, it's not as good as New York or LA, obviously, but I think it's third place, and we're getting better. And it's gonna get even better when we have the fucking headliners here killing it. So I think that it's gonna be a bright future for Austin, and I'd rather be here than any other city. That's why I'm here, because New York and LA is too fucked up with entrenched powers. The people that already own that shit are fucking it up, and they just want you to kiss their ass, and they're really good at kissing ass, so all they respect is kissing ass. I think those people are weak. I think that their only skill is to be able to sell out, and that they get really good at selling out, and then they wonder why other people aren't selling out. Um, so yeah, I think Austin's better. Austin has a better soul. People here are fresh, and they're actually being rewarded for the stuff they do instead of just being like an old guard and owning a lot of shows. Uh, Straight up commies using technology. I mean, technology was made by the community, so I guess if you're using technology from the community, then you're a communist. But I don't think capitalism has a stranglehold on technology. I think we can actually get better technology if we democratize the internet and get rid of corporations and monopolies and people who own the capital of the internet, and then we could actually share information with each other freely instead of having to do it through these big corporations. Did not work out very well for Mao or Stalin, this sharing your food stuff. I mean, Mao was trying. He had the Russians for an ally, and then the rest of the world was against them. The whole world was trying to fuck with Russia and China because they didn't want to see people having more power. It's like when the French Revolution happened, and all the countries in Europe were like, "Oh no, you killed your king. Oh no, we can't have that. We're gonna invade you." So like whenever people try to get more power, all the other countries are like, "This is bad. This is gonna make it look bad." Um, I mean, crony capitalism is bad, but I think capitalism, where a few people have all the money, leads to crony capitalism. Fascism is when corporations enforce government mandates. Can we all just love each other? That's a good idea. I'm gonna see how to enable super chats, and maybe I can capitalize on my communism. I have memberships, supers, I think they're called. Super thanks. Oh, I guess I had it turned off because they turned off my shit, which is annoying. So I think I turned it on. Let me know if super chats is available. We are a tyranny, not a capitalist society. The ghettos where most of the people are on government subsidies. It doesn't seem to be working there. Can you imagine if the ghettos had no government subsidies? It'd be even worse than it is now. Fairly is a measurable term. Yakta, so fairly is a measurable term. I just think that it should be something that we should strive for instead of just giving up and being like, we're going to make an unfair system. I think we should try to be fair. Next time you get down, Hans, remember it could be worse, and you could be named Gaylord. I love workers. Was Lothario the original super spreader? I hope I didn't spread any coronavirus, but honestly, like, if you were not trying to get coronavirus, I don't think that we would have done the things that we did. I think there's a market for van life. Korean mandatory military service for 2 years. Any thoughts? I think that it is unnecessary, and it takes out a lot of useful life from young men's lives in Korea. So I don't think that's very cool. All zoos should be banned. I made a lot of money. I don't think China has a better system than the U.S. I think that China is a little more thoughtful, which is nice, but I think the U.S. is the future of like free speech, individual respect, freedom, and I think China is like all fucked up and stupid, and they're still living in their old world. Um, yeah, I mean, rich people have more to share. The van, I'm not in the van anymore. I keep trying to read every single thing, and I don't think it's gonna happen. Um, China has social credit score. Yeah, well, how much would you donate crypto? I'm poor. Sure. Um, I don't have 12 minutes. I have more than that. I'm gonna go turn on the AC. Here's some royalty-free music. Hopefully you enjoy. It's Cloud Chaser. I think you can hear it. Okay, the AC's on. Um, yeah, I mean, I think it's good to be here. 6:39. I probably have to leave at like 7:30 because I need to go to the secret show by 8. So I have a couple more minutes of this. Um, are you an island boy? I'm an island boy. Get ready for your host, Hans Cum. Was that BTS? That was actually Cloud Chaser Spence, royalty-free music, no copyright music, instrumental music, free download. You need to go visit Tom Green and play some pond hockey. I would love to. I love ice skating. I'm all right at ice skating, but I'm not good at I'm not good at I'm not good at hockey. Hockey is hard. Those guys are really good at skating. I'm not that good. They can stop. I can't stop. I got to run into a wall. And I need to be able to skate backwards. I thought Norm Macdonald was an amazing comedian. Let me know if super chats are working or not. It's pretty hot in Austin right now. Hans tax ratio will make poor people better off. Doesn't expensive. I didn't get to read it. Good night. McDonald's is delicious. Do you think you'd get to practice comedy in a Marxist system? You'd be sent to the assembly line for the collective. I mean, Russia had pretty good art. They had good ballet. They had good propaganda posters. I'm not stoned. They had a good hockey team. Speaking of hockey. Are there any other arts you like? I drama, music, etc. Yeah, I love all arts. Should I restart stream? Whatever. Ibarra, I have the internet. As an Asian American, I would say I'm an industrious person, and I think it had a lot to do with my family and my upbringing and like my general hatred of myself and my acknowledging that I'm a pathetic little useless piece of shit, and that if I want to do anything useful, it'll take hard work instead of just being comfortable and lazy. I think that's crazy. Yeah, Russia turned out great. Ever heard of the Holodomor? Yeah, I mean, the whole world was allied against Russia. France, Spain, Great Britain, America, every major power was trying to fuck with Russia. And the Holodomor was bad, and it was run by Stalin, who was not a community member. He was not the whole community. He was just one person in it. And it was a time after World War II or before. I don't know when that happened. Maybe in the 30s. Okay, after the Great War, shit was fucked up. They were trying to create this shit, and it went awry. And famines do happen. And in fact, the Great Bengal famines were way more costly in terms of lives, and that was caused by capitalist Great Britain. So if you're comparing famines to famines, I would say that capitalism is way worse than communism because of the Great Bengal famines, where millions of Indians died. And also, if you care about white people dying, then you should check out the potato famine. Um, yeah. So apparently, if you rejoin the stream, then the fucking thing works. Ukrainians farming grain for Russia and not allowed to eat it. Yeah, they had the grain stolen from them. The Ukrainians would have all this grain, and then Stalin would be like, I think that you're hiding grain from me. Give me more grain. More grain. More grain. I need more grain. And he was like a paranoid schizophrenic leader and all that. If capitalism is so bad, why does everyone want to move here? Probably because we fucked up everywhere else in the world. Like South America, we definitely fucked up because we were jealous that they were giving their people their land back and wouldn't let us farm bananas there. Also, Southeast Asia has been pretty fucked up by America. Africa's been fucked up by Europe. Middle East has been fucked up by Europe and America. China's doing good, even though it's kind of fucked up too. I'm not a big fan of China. I think that we need the future, and the future is a hybrid mix of all the races and countries coming together. That's why I'm glad to be Asian American. I can bring in my Asian side, mix that with the Korean side, or the American side, and you get, the most prolific kisser in Kill Tony history. So, you need a combination of Asian small cockness and American aggression to get someone to go around kissing as many people as I do. I wish Alex Jones was here. I have another microphone. I would love for someone to join me. It's just not happening. Are you high? LOL. I'm not high. I can't believe I answer this question. People get annoyed that I answer, are you high? But I wish I was high. This is just how I normally talk. And I think it's weird that when people will be like, oh, Super Chat works. See, I told you. How many comics would you estimate are in Austin? I'd estimate 500, maybe 1,000. I have no idea. What was I talking about? Were you ever worried about getting herpes? No, not worried about that. I don't think people are as dirty as people make it out to be. Oh yeah, getting high. People want to know if you're high. Because they want to be like, can I ignore you? Because I like ignoring people and not taking what they have seriously. That's a lot of work for me to have empathy for other people. So if I can know that you're on drugs, then I don't have to take you seriously. But even if someone is on drugs, you should still listen to them and take care of them and be nice to them. In fact, some would say you should be even nicer to them and more empathetic if they are on drugs. So I would say that it really doesn't matter if someone's on drugs. Usually when people are asked that, they're like, should I be nice to you? Are you on drugs? Because I really don't want to give you human decency. I'm kind of spent on that. So if giving human decency is hard for you, then I would say work on your stamina. But I know that most people aren't asking in that way. I'm just talking about in terms of people who ask that in real life. Like, are you high right now? Oh my God, you're high. You're not even a real person anymore. I have only empathy and only able to see the humanity in people that are exactly like me and in my same mental state. Free markets are great. It did create a great country called America, but I think it was just an improvement on feudalism. And if you look at it as a spectrum, feudalism, capitalism, then we just need to keep going. We can't just stop here. This isn't a good stopping point. We need to give people more rights instead of just giving rights to people who have inherited power, like monarchs and capitalists. I think that we should create a real meritocracy instead of rewarding people for having already been rich. Nothing wrong with being high. Don't 90% of people have the herps anyways? Exactly. Did he already explain what's on his shirt? Looks like a comic book. This is Lady Owl, whatever. It's from this band, Lady Owl. And it's a band, and they sent me the merch through the mail, and then I wore it. And so check them out, Lemon Trees on Mars. Uh, do you think some places just suck because of the people who live there, or is it always the fault of an outside force? I think that most places are going to try to figure their shit out and create a nice place to live. Some places just have a bad culture because there's a volcano and it blows up all the time. But I think the history of the world is pretty interesting, and if you look at it, you can see like where everything came from and stuff. I can't believe that Hans is stoned out of his mind right now. Insane. It's funny because everyone thinks I'm stoned all the time, and it's actually kind of offensive in terms of living standards. Actually, I don't think we have a meritocracy. I mean, if you look at social mobility, if you're born in the lower class, what chance do you have of getting into higher class? It's not that meritocratic. um, we're at 27th in social mobility, or we did before COVID. Did Texas do 9/11? I mean, Texas loved 9/11. They were doing whatever. I heard you. Race and IQ. Perhaps some areas are bad because of low IQ demographics, and not capitalism. I don't think that there's a significant correlation between race and IQ. I think people are intelligent in different ways. Asians are smart in a very boring, nerdy, stupid, bookish way, and Africans are smart in a more intuitive and awesome way. And yeah, I mean, I don't mean to compare Asian and African intelligence, but I think that they're more than capable of having a functioning country. The only problem is they've been colonized by outside forces and tortured and raped. And I think if none of that would have happened, I think they could create a very stable country, and I think that we should let them do it. But unfortunately, we killed Lumumba in the Congo. The CIA killed Lumumba after a horrible occupation by the Belgians. So, I mean, you try going through the King Leopold's colonization of your country and then having the CIA kill your Patrick Lumumba and see how good of a country you make. I think that it's crazy because, like, yeah, I mean, if you just let countries develop, like, they would do way better than how they're doing now. And it's amazing that they've been able to do as well as they have done so far. I think the human spirit is amazing, and that they've been able to come back through all that shit. If it's not accurate that most rich people got their money through inheritance, the vast majority of millionaires are self-made. I think that if you look at America, a large part of the wealth comes from inheritance and being in a rich family and the advantages that gives you. Very few people in the bottom of the rung make it to the top of the rung, and that's on purpose. Am I related to the rooftop Koreans? Maybe in spirit, but not genetically. My parents came here in 1989 and lived in New Jersey when the LA riots was happening. Yeah, there's no difference between groups. We're all equally intelligent. It's only a coincidence that planes, trains, and automobiles came from certain groups. That is racist. I mean, it's great that Europeans were able to invent some amazing things. They had some advantages in terms of geography, and they had a good governmental structure that allowed intellectual property. But I think that that is not a sign of collective intelligence. I think that you can still meet a lot of stupid white people. And I don't think that we should be held responsible for the inventions of our forefathers. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. What's with you talking about race all the time? I'm just interested in it. What are you interested in? I mean, we could talk about like buttholes and like farting and poopy hair and dogs. I don't think that white people are that much better than other people. I mean, have you met other people? They're pretty cool too. I don't see white people being superior as a race. Did you know the government has killed like 100 billionaires in China? I know, it's kind of crazy. But hey, that's what you gotta do. You gotta cull the field sometimes. What is interesting about race? It's all around us. It's our genetics, it's our history, it's our DNA, it's our animal instincts that we're fighting all the time. I'm not sleeping. I'm doing fine. Some people don't just have to have a lot of energy to uh, think that they're entertaining. I think that, what a lot of people want is just like bells and whistles, and I don't think that's really the best way to go. Has you discussing your wiping methods opened up any Cottonelle sponsorships? I wish. My wiping method is actually only good for toilet paper. A lot of wet white people aren't really into that. Uh, Unsubscribed. And the white had a very civilized here in the game answer. Thoughts on the jab? I think it's relatively safe. Race isn't anything important. We were made in a lab at one point. Oh, is that some conspiracy theory? Um, I'm in an apartment. My friend let me live here. How long do you have to practice martial arts until you fly like the movie? Crouching Tiger. What is the best way to coordinate our collective peasant energy to defeat rich people? I would say that the best way to coordinate our collective peasant energy would be to vote and use the power of the government to destroy monopolies and corporate malfeasance. Hans, your head is bigger than my future. Thank you. I have a very big head. It contains a very big 5-brain, and it's just like a fucking awesome brain. Is Bobby Lee your hero? He is one of my heroes. He embraces humor. He embraces hilarity. And he doesn't try to impress the old school Koreans. He's just funny the way he is. I usually kick one leg up on the wall and use a mirror on the floor to make sure it's a wrap. Crushing Tiger hidden pupil, very funny because my eyes are small. Us autistic people have large heads. Look it up. I got diagnosed off childhood photos. What's your favorite word at the moment? Probably the F word. Do I have Venmo? Yeah, my Venmo is in my group, my description. Yeah, we shouldn't defeat rich people. We should just appease them and make sure that they get whatever they want so they can keep letting us have basic human rights. I do typically write sober nowadays. I don't always like to. I would love to be on Tiger Belly. I guess everyone touches their face a lot. Indo. I haven't been smoking Indo. I've been smoking whatever free weed is passed to me, usually. If you have a smaller head, it means impulse takes less time to travel between neurons. Yeah. Having a small head is better. I just have more brain matter. Did you really kiss William's sister? That's just a joke. We call them the Montgomery sisters because they're redheaded. You'll see them in the episode. How are you right now? I'm not high at all. It's pink eye. The power of them mentally corrupt and destroy their own corruption. Vote with your actions. Stop shopping on Amazon. Cancel and buy food and local farm. I mean, buying local is good. It's hard to avoid monopolies because of their monopolistic tendencies. The government is corrupt, so we should just leave it corrupt and not try to fix it, or should we try to fix it? I would say let's fix it. Let's make it better. Hans Kim comedy. You watch any YouTubers? If so, who? I like a lot of YouTubers. I like Majority Report with Sam Cedar. I love Hasanabi. I love H3. A lot of people that hate other people that I like. I love StarCraft 2 on YouTube. I love others. Should banks allow poor people to use their spare kidney as collateral instead of requiring a down payment when purchasing a home? That sounds dystopic. I would rather not have people have to sacrifice their kidney just to buy a home. I think that we could create a better system than that. I think that there's plenty of resources in the world to make sure that we don't have to sacrifice our body for whatever. Lie my way onto InfoWars and get 10 times my following with people that are going to hate me more than you guys already hate me. I'd rather build an audience slowly and quietly and doing whatever I'm doing. Hopefully you guys enjoy this. We can make government better by bettering ourselves. We are turds, so we make turds. I very much agree with you. And we are turds on purpose. They don't fund our education, and they turn us into not as good people as we could be, so that democracy doesn't work. Oh, wow. You're a real Seattle bubbly left. Huh. Yeah, I'm pretty left. So is the rest of the world. With autism becoming more common, do you think it's just another step in human evolution? I guess so. I don't really think about it. I think autism is like people call me autistic when I don't like to be touched. I do like to be touched. I just don't like to be touched in the way that idiots touch me. Like you can't just like go around touching everyone and being like, oh, you don't like to be touched. It's like maybe you should have more care and discipline in how you touch people. Like if I was bad at like, if I was bad at whatever, if I was bad at making food and I'm giving food to everyone and they're like, oh, I don't like this food. I want to be like, oh, you hate food, huh? That's weird. Like usually people like food, but you hate food. It's not food that I hate. It's your food, the way that you made it. Like people don't want to admit that like they don't know how to touch people. They just want to blame you for not being able to be touched. But maybe you should get better at touching people in a way that they like instead of going around surprising people with your touch and acting like you get to touch everyone any way you like, and then they have to respond to it. And if they don't, then it's their fault. Have you listened to the Peter McCullough episode of Jerry and how government corruption, academic incompetence is a gigantic failure on how COVID was mismanaged in the U.S.? I haven't heard it. I know about it. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think that we knew what to do besides the whole mask thing in the beginning where Fauci was like, don't wear masks. I think that there's very obvious steps that we can take and all that. Y'all need to drop more super chats. Also follow Osmosis Reacts on YouTube. He's plugging his own shit. Hey, that's an ad. I don't mind. Thanks for the ad. Build that wall. Mad aliens jump the border. I don't think that's really the problem. I mean, if you want to build a border wall, I don't know. I just don't think that's the problem. I think that we need to give workers rights. Even if we close the border, we're still going to be having an unequal wealth distribution. Would you rather go on Jerry alone or with Red Band or something? I think if it's going to happen, it might be with all three regulars. I think that would be fucking awesome. That would be a fun hang. I love William's energy. I love David's coolness. But I mean, when I picture it, I always pictured it alone. So that'd be cool. I would want to do both. Like Shane Gillis was on there with Ari and Mark Normand. Mark Normand was on there alone. It's like I want to do both because it's just such a fun hang, and I hope that Joe Rogan enjoys having the Kill Tony's regulars on his shows because he keeps booking us, so I guess he likes it. Marxism is not about unlocking your doors. Marxism is about paying workers fairly and workers of the world uniting to fight against the power of capital, and that's why America and Great Britain really hated it because they thought it was gonna fuck shit up for them and their unequal wealth distribution. Have you admitted to yourself that you are a communist already? I mean, what is communism? Giving workers rights? Should we never give workers rights? I think that workers should have rights, and if you work, I want you to have a lot of money. Because then you'll be more pleasant to be around and you won't cut me off in traffic and yell at me and shit. Do you still practice guitar? No, I wish I could. I jam my finger playing basketball, both my index fingers. Peace from the Middle East. Hey, why don't you keep that peace in the Middle East? Y'all need it. Commie gobbledygook. Yeah, I mean, communism. If you label everything that can improve your country as communism, you're never going to improve unless you embrace communism. So you're just setting yourself up to eventually need communism. But if you just say, this isn't communism, this is just the American way of taking care of each other, if you just relabel it, then you can figure it out. Yeah, I mean, what happened in China that would make China fucked up? Maybe the Boxer Rebellion and the forced opening up of trade with opium, letting Great Britain sell opium inside of their country, fucking up their population, and devastation by the Japanese. Are you gonna play the new Cap City? I would love to. If they will have me. Can you see after you've had a black or swollen eye? I mean, I think my eyes are more resilient because there's less of them, so it's less whatever. Basketball is communist. Okay, I guess there's a community involved in the scoring of the basket, but I don't know. I think the label communism has lost all meaning, and that I don't know. I don't know what we really think about it. I imagine Hans, you get high and go on these rants rather than the camera is on or not. LOL. Who else is in the chat is from ATX? When we going shrooms? LOL. I guess if you do a super chat, you don't really have to proofread it. Yeah, I mean, I love getting high. I love talking, so I hope I can combine the two. A great example is someone who is likable despite differing political opinions. I hope that you're talking about me and not Craig Candor. How do people get rich in Marxist system? The same way that they do it in Finland. Let's just have Finland. Can you play video games like Escape from Tarkov? What? Me? I haven't played that before. I love games. Open Your Eyes. Do you think Jeremy Lin should come out and support Taiwan or keep bringing in that dollar? I mean, does Taiwan really need Jeremy Lin? Even if Jeremy Lin comes out in support of Taiwan, what's going to change for Taiwan? Why are you trying to fuck up Jeremy Lin's shit, Taiwan? Just keep doing you. You're doing fine. You're going to do great. Just figure it out. We could have Finland, but multicultural. We could have a multicultural Finland. Let's try it. I think it's possible. I have not read Gulag Archipelago. Is that like Animal Farm? Who about in China? How long do you spend writing to come up with your new 1 minute every week? Well, I write a lot and then I throw away a lot. Try to write 2,000 words every day. I think I heard it on Joe Rogan's podcast, but I try to write 2,000 words every day, which is like an hour. And I think it's good because even if I don't come up with something, I think about what I'm going to say and I think about my jokes. So it's just good for me to do that. Do you care for League of Legends? I haven't really played it. I don't really care for it. Just Marx's abbreviation of observations of capitalism. Yeah, Marxism is just Marx's observation of capitalism and how it eventually leads to one person having everything. What's your opinion on ancient cultures being understood, the solar system and universal truths without modern science and the claim they make of the knowledge being found within self? I think you can get so far with that kind of knowledge. You can look at the stars and figure out what's going to rise at what time, but I think that's very limited. And what's better than looking at stars and measuring your belly button is like electricity and Wi-Fi technology and touch screens. I have streamed from my van. I'm currently in not a van right now. I love the UFC. I'm a huge fan of combat sports. I think with our vicious and animalistic culture, the UFC is a huge release, and it actually shows us the end of our. It shows us the end culmination of our fantasies about hitting each other and pummeling each other, and how actually it's very difficult and it's a very beautiful art form. But I think like living in this world, it's crazy because we are always at each other's throats, and there's always the threat of violence, and it's just cool that we get to actually see it happen, because we're living in a very coercive society that I don't appreciate. Like that's the thing, when I go to Asia, there's just a weight lifted off my shoulder. I don't have to look over my shoulder. I don't have to fucking walk fast or pretend I have confidence and make people afraid of me. I can just exist. And I think that's something that's missing in America, is like, it doesn't feel like a society. It doesn't feel like a human culture. It feels like everyone's trying to kill each other, and if you make a wrong move, you could be done for. And I don't think that's healthy. Leftists tend to not think for themselves. People parrot nonsense and make it about how moral they are. I mean, leftists are more collectively oriented in terms of the world. Right people on the right are more collectively oriented in terms of their racial group or their small economic minority. In your opinion, but I found that is able to be tapped in through your mind. I find that my body and soul is technology already. Yeah, but you can't power my iPhone through your brain electricity yet. I'm sure we're going to be able to do that. I'm going to be able to like touch things and impart electricity through it. But yeah, I mean, I think real science is more impressive than ancient science. Although ancient science is impressive, it's cool that they could do that. I just think that there's more to science than just staring at the stars. But I think that is really cool too, because it's like a natural pathway from our natural thoughts into science. So I think that's cool. What do I think happens after death? I think we die and our body decays and falls, becomes a part of the earth, and the ideas that we are left behind, that the way that we made people feel, and the ideas that we have, and the books that we wrote, and the movies that we made, that lives on. That is our afterlife, is what we did and the work that we did and the impact that we made on others, reverberating through eternity until eventually it goes away. But even if the ideas die that you created, the ideas that respond to those ideas don't die. The people responding to the people that you impacted don't die. And that's the afterlife, is just us living on through our species or whatever consciousness happens to come across our life's work. So I think we need to make our existence beautiful, and we need to shine as bright as we can, and hopefully people will gravitate towards it and be able to use it in the future and make themselves better. And that is afterlife. We live on through each other. And I don't want to die now, but if I do, I'm fine with it, because I have faith in my species, and I know that they will carry on without me. I'm happy to have been a part of it, and I'm excited to see where it goes. So I replace my thoughts of heaven and an afterlife with my hope and aspirations for the species that I happen to be a part of, and not even the species, but sentient life and the power of logic and whatever is going on inside my head. So hopefully I can live on through that. Boy, are you in for a pleasant surprise. Hey, if there's heaven, I'll enjoy it. There's a new opening act on Kill Tony. I mean, I'm opening it up for the next 2 weeks at least. And Jared Nathan is going to be a part of it. Jared Nathan is beautiful, beautiful soul. So I can't wait for you guys to see that shit. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people find my afterlife thoughts depressing, but I find it very hopeful and very inspiring. So, don't shit on my shitty version of the afterlife, It's like, how come I can't make fun of your stupid little childish ideas of clouds and a bearded man, but you get to make fun of my beautiful ideas of something that's actually going to happen? It's like the species is going to exist beyond any of us and continue, even though it's made out of us. There is no heaven in communism. Communism is where you don't have nothing. Nothing. And that's just it. Like, I mean, isn't it weird that all these people have such strong ideas on communism, and yet all that they know about is from the American side of things? Like, there's not a lot of knowledge going around about communism, and yet we all have these things that we parrot. I mean, communism means no possessions. I guess communism is where people who are super rich don't have all that money, and that we can all vote on how much we want to get paid. So then super rich people are not going to have as much. But I think that you're confusing exorbitant wealth with no private possessions. And I think there's a middle ground between people being super rich and nobody owning anything that we can hit that is very obviously attainable and that we should be striving for. Because right now we're too far on one end of the spectrum. We're not suffering right now because too many people have too much stuff and there aren't enough rich people. We're suffering right now because we have too much rich people and all our wealth is trapped up top, and we can't change the world to the way that we see fit. But communism is the answer. Look at utopian China and North Korea. Or is capitalism the answer? Look at America and how we're falling apart during a pandemic. Or look at Great Britain. They're sort of decaying culturally. I mean, capitalism is definitely not the answer. Like, we're going to find the end of the road on this soon. So either we're going to evolve or the world's going to evolve without us. There is no personal property, community, commune. I guess if you think communes mean no personal property, but I think communes are like a thing from the 60s or 70s. I don't think that really has any bearing on communism. Or like 3 years different time periods, having been blessed with a visit from the same being. Jesus! Wouldn't it be nice if Jesus was real? If it was that simple. Have you ever been to a communist country? If so, what have you learned? No, not really. I mean, I've been to Europe, which a lot of people would consider communist. They're like, no, that's not communism. Okay, then let's do some of the things that they do, like healthcare and working class rights and unions and social safety nets. I'm like, no, that's communism. Oh, I thought you just said it wasn't communism. Which one is it? Everything is communism. Everything that will improve your country is communism. You just want to keep it the way it is. You are now John Lennon. I hope not. I don't want to get shot right by Central Park. Why do we keep coming back to communism? It's a sticking point because we know that it's like annoying to us because people keep, people keep gravitating towards it. I mean, capitalism, it's like, if capitalism is so great, why does it produce so many communists? Like, this is capitalism that we're living in, and yet half the country would be considered communist by the people who love capitalism. So, it's like, if it's so great, why do so many people end up disgruntled and wanting to improve it? If it was great, people wouldn't be happy with it, and there wouldn't be disgruntled citizens. I would love to visit Cuba. I think Cuba's a beautiful country, and I love how they stuck up to America and wasn't just a sugar plantation for rich Americans and a resort. They actually were like, we'd rather be in charge of our own destiny than to have America just do whatever the fuck they want within us. And I think that's beautiful. I think that I think it's good to stand up to bullies, and I think America has oftentimes become the bully in the world. You think corporations and capitalism are synonymous terms? Okie dokie. I mean, if you own capital, why wouldn't you create an awesome corporation that takes over everything? Lack of ambition and laziness, feel like they deserve something for nothing. I mean, I think it's very easy to be not lazy and to be ambitious. I find it very easy, and I don't think that that is the end goal of everybody, is just to work really hard at something stupid. I'm good at working hard, and it's choosing what to work hard at that is, I think, the more important skill. And I think a lot of people are just fascinated with hard work because we've been trained to, and then they work their ass off for someone who doesn't give a fuck about them, who wastes their labor and does not create something good for the world. Capitalism versus communism is a false choice. I agree with you. I think that we should just do what's best for the country and not judge policies based on what superpower would have supported it in the 50s. What is the best way to go forward as a country? If you're running this country as a sim city game, a sim country, would you not give everyone healthcare and make them work like animals and resent your country because they're fucking your shit up? Or would you give people healthcare? Because that seems to work in countries. There's ways to run countries. And I think that we should implement some of those ways of running countries. I change the world more than any of you ever have or will, actually. William Buddy. Wow. What a bold statement. This guy has got a lot of confidence in his past work or something. UK NHS sucks. You think that sucks? Just wait till you see American healthcare. Evolution has led us to this point. We're streaming and chatting thanks to free market economy. I think that free markets are good. I don't think that we have one right now, or and that we should work to having one. And I think we should keep evolving instead of just staying put and conserving what we have now. I think evolution doesn't like it when you just try to not evolve. So yes, I am. I can't stop playing with it. UE Boom Charger. Way to pick that out. I think that in the future, humans will be able to converse with other animals. I think that'd be beautiful. I think that'd be awesome. I don't think that we're working on that at all right now. We're like, don't worry, dolphins. We got this. You guys just play around in the polluted waters we made for you. But would it be awesome if we could talk to dolphins? Why don't we fucking do that? Like, we should be doing that. Like, that should be like, instead of having everyone try to like tweak dating apps or like sell advertisements or insurance to poor people, we should, or like selling, I don't know, ShamWow. We should have more people focused on talking to dolphins. Mass shootings are a result of media sensationalism, in my opinion. Were you guys talking about that? Or is that just something that you just decided to volunteer? I think that media sensationalism is definitely a part of it. People are like, ooh, I want to get that sort of treatment. But it's also a sign of a very unhealthy culture where people would want that kind of attention. And I think that comes from our culture not being that healthy. Free Ross Ulbricht. I agree with you. The Dread Pirate, Dread Scott Pirate Robert Pirate Man. Value creation is important, I think. Okay. A lot of people getting mad at me because of my communism, where I want people to have freedom and get paid fairly instead of worshiping billionaires. Hans agreed there's no free market, but also thinks global commerce is stratified by capitalism. Weird, but okay, whatever. Narcissistic sociopaths. Okay, see you at the Roma Room mic later tonight. And with that, I need to go to the secret show and do some secret comedy. I love you guys. I hope you guys have a good night, and that a lot of you get your genitals licked. I think that would make the world a better place. I hope that, what do you think of working jokes out on streams? I think that I've done it, and hopefully that if you watch this much of my stuff, then maybe you won't mind if you hear some of these ideas on a fucking stand-up comedy show. Because I don't mind it when Joe Rogan does that. There's no political history that produces more mass death and suffering within communism. That's just a fact. Well, I'd say that capitalism has killed a lot of people, probably more than communism. And a lot of the people that died from communism is because of capitalist embargoes and fuckery. But yeah, I don't want to talk about communism. I want to wish you guys a good night and lick those genitals tonight. That's something that I want for myself, so I want that for you. I think that'd be very nice for me, so I want to give that to you. But I also don't want you to be as desperate as I am, so maybe don't focus on the licking of genitals. Maybe focus on fostering friendships. But yeah. But yeah, let's have a good time, and let's fix the world and give workers rights, because most people are workers. I don't want to end on communist propaganda, but I'm getting triggered by all the capitalists. No, I'm just gonna end the stream, but yeah, let's go lick some genitals. Genital licking.